From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordo, and this is your News 8 Daily for Wednesday, February 25th. It feels a little bit better outside, not quite as cold. We're going to get up to the mid-40s today. This morning, we might have some light rain around and decreasing clouds as the day goes on. We're in for a warm-up throughout the week. President Trump's marathon State of the Union address touts his accomplishments and why America is winning, even as polls show most people think the country is headed in the wrong direction. Ivan Rodriguez takes a closer look at last night's speech.
In the longest State of the Union address since at least 1964,
the state of our union is strong.
An energetic and defiant President Donald Trump declared what he calls a new age of American prosperity.
We have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before.
In the wide-ranging speech, Trump boasted his administration's economic achievements and cost savings initiatives, like reducing inflation, lowering some prescription drug prices, and cutting taxes.
Our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Trump also defended key pillars of his agenda that have been subject to controversy, including his global tariff initiative struck down by the Supreme Court last week and his administration's immigration crackdown.
We now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
The president also addressed issues like healthcare, voter ID, and Iran.
I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon.
But along with policy objectives and first-year wins, Trump took aim at perceived political enemies and Democrats.
Democrats are destroying our country.
In the Democratic response, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger struck a different tone.
Is the president working for you?
Laying out her party's argument against the administration and for Democratic policies.
No, you can demand more. And that we are working to lower costs. We are working to keep our communities and our country safe, and we are working for you.
In Washington, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
At least 36 Democratic members of Congress skipped the State of the Union and went to alternative events in Washington. The group Defiance.org hosted a bipartisan event. It featured Republican critics of Trump as well as actors. The progressive group Move On hosted speeches on the National Mall from prominent Democrats. They included a senator from Minnesota who praised her state's response to the Trump administration's recent immigration crackdown.
When they brought guns, we had whistles. People came out in their neighborhood and they stuck up for people that they didn't even know. They brought diapers and they helped get prescriptions to families. They gathered together just out of the pure love of their neighbors, even the neighbors that they did not know.
Indiana Democratic Congressman Andre Carson was among those skipping the State of the Union. Before the speech, Carson issued a statement saying, in part, the American people already know what the state of our union is. It is marked by frustration, rising costs, and deep exhaustion. Carson went on to say, I will not participate in a spectacle that doesn't address the real issues and challenges facing our country. I will not help fill the audience to create any impression of support for Trump's failed policies. Indiana Republican Senator Jim Banks praised Trump's speech, saying, in part, in just over a year, President Trump has secured the border, enacted the largest tax cut in history for working families, fixed the military recruitment crisis, deported over 600,000 illegal immigrants, and restored law and order to our streets. Wish TV is your education station. The state Senate approved a bill that would reshape how Indianapolis public schools are governed. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist explains the changes made in the bill.
This is the bill to create the Indianapolis Public Education Corporation. It would consist of 9 people, all appointed by the mayor. They would all have to live within the IPS boundaries. The bill is the result of last year's Indianapolis Local Education Alliance hearings. The corporation would control the IPS budget. It also would create a single facilities and transportation plan for all traditional and charter schools within IPS's footprint. The IPS board would still run day-to-day operations.
This is not a game or some unnecessary exercise. People have taken it painstakingly time at no pay to come up with this plan. And there were plenty of people involved in it. Is it perfect? I'm sure not. But it's a pathway forward.
The House had its hand guiding the work of ILEA locally to come up with these recommendations. So to suggest that the ILEA recommendations came from the community is not accurate. If you've witnessed how many people showed up to testify against ILEA on some of the recommendations, you would understand in Indianapolis that the community is opposed to it, not supportive of it.
The Senate made changes to the bill, so it has to go back to the House. We're at the stage now in session where everything's going to a conference committee, so bills can change radically in these last few days of session. Lawmakers plan to wrap up on Friday. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
A bill to expand the child care tax credit sits on its way to the governor's desk. The state Senate approved the measure unanimously yesterday. It allows companies that employ up to 500 people to qualify for a tax credit for providing child care programs. It also allows companies to use that credit for operational needs of those programs. The Senate did not make any changes to the bill. IMPD's new chief, Tanya Terry, is touting her plans for the department. Yesterday, she sat down with people and talked about tackling key issues for the city of Indianapolis. News 8's Gina Galeros has more.
Shaking hands with Indianapolis residents Tuesday, IMPD Chief Tanya Terry and command staff met with dozens for a community conversation.
Concept of shared responsibility in our community. And as law enforcement, you all know it's no secret that we've been short-staffed. We have a lot of work to do, both internally, but we also have a lot of work to do as a community together.
IMPD hosted Coffee with the Chief at the Nest Event Center on Indy's west side. Terry discussed the department's new 5-year strategic plan for a safer Indianapolis.
Our mission is IMPD serves with courage and compassion. Courage and compassion.
The plan is based on community and agency input.
Our vision, a safe Indianapolis, where community members, officers, and professional staff alike are supported, voices are heard, and IMPD is a proud and trusted partner.
What's the process, the procedure?
Terry took questions from the audience about homelessness and enforcement.
I don't know what your thought or your feelings are, or maybe you guys have a secret shelter somewhere that you haven't told us about.
So it's a summons arrest, and again, IMPD has no interest in trying to take a person that's in need to a jail facility.
Terry also took a question about building trust.
Even if we don't always agree on things, we can have a mutual respect and understanding, right? And that's the basic level I think that we should be achieving.
With more conversations like this planned for the future.
The kind of community that we see, the vision that we have collectively for the city that we want to have here, the city that we want to cultivate.
Chief Terry also took a question about ICE. She maintains that is a federal operation and IMPD is not involved in federal operations.
Drivers in Indianapolis are dodging potholes. The Department of Public Works says it has a plan to speed up repairs and prevent more damage. News 8's Malia Van Ostrin shows us how crews are tackling the problem.
Freeze-thaw cycles can be tough on the road, and it can feel personal when it's your tire that's hit. Now Indianapolis DPW says they're ramping up their efforts to get the potholes across the city.
Ask most people who live in Indianapolis what they think about the roads, and many will say potholes are a big problem.
If you run into one of these potholes, you might end up in the middle of the earth. That's what these potholes, they're dangerous.
2 flats so far. I got rims on my car, so every time I get a flat, it costs me $300 for each tire. So, and I got rims on my car, so if I bend the rim, that's an extra $300. The potholes are terrible.
Crews were out early this morning patching potholes with cold mix asphalt, which is better for repairs in temperatures below 40 degrees. DPW crews have patched just over 46,000 potholes since January 1st.
It is only designed to temporarily fill these potholes until the warmer months when we switch to hot mix. We contract with a outside vendor that makes this hot mix, which is more permanent and binds together better than the cold mix.
Pinsker says spring is when they're able to move more aggressively with permanent repairs. He says the hot mix will be available in the next few days so that crews can start strip patching.
Let's say you have a whole street with just tons of potholes. You scrape off that top layer of pavement, do the strip patching, all those potholes are gone. It's not like you're driving on the moon. And that essentially takes care of a whole bunch of potholes at once.
Pensker says crews are also relying on reports from people through the Mayor's Action Center to identify bad spots faster and determine which areas take priority.
Keep on us about it, and we will get out there as soon as we can.
Indianapolis DPW has had about 230 crews working on patching the potholes so far this year and urges the public to remain patient.
Fix these potholes immediately.
Pensker says DPW has increased its budget by $10 million to deal with potholes and strip patching. In Indianapolis, I'm Malia Van Ostrand for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
In Colts Watch, team leadership spoke to reporters yesterday about the team's goals during the NFL Combine. Quarterback Daniel Jones and wide receiver Alec Pierce are both about to become free agents. General manager Chris Ballard says he hopes that both of them will stay here in Indianapolis next season. He says that the team has been having positive talks with both players.
Good. We've had great discussions about both of them. We'll continue to work this week and see if we can get something done. It's been very positive. Look, when both sides are driven to get it done, it usually works out in the right way. There's a long, I know 4 or 5 days doesn't seem like a long time, but it can be in these situations. But, the player, we're driven, they're driven. The agents have been great to work with. We just got to keep working through it.
Daniel Jones brought the Colts to 8-2 in the start of last season before his season-ending injury at Week 14. Okay, we're now 88 days away from the Indianapolis 500, and the design for this year's Indy 500 ticket is out. Last year's winner, Alex Palou, revealed the ticket last night. There's a picture of him on it celebrating his first ever 500 win last year. Palou is standing over his winning car as it crosses the yard of bricks in the image on the ticket. He tells us he's happy with the end result.
But honestly, it's amazing. I think from that day, from that month, you can take whatever picture you want that I would be happy with. I think this shows the emotion from that day, the happiness. So it was such a cool moment.
The Indy 500 ticket has featured the image of the previous year's race winner since 1948. Tickets for this year's race are now on sale. Wish TV is your education station. It is almost time to meet our Golden Apple Award winner for February. We've surprised him with the award, a school supply shopping spree to teachers' treasures, and $500 thanks to our partners at Hensley Legal Group. So here are 3 clues. He's an avid teacher at Lawrence North High School. That stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. Basically, he helps kids prepare for college and life after school, which fits with his motto, keep chopping wood. And all of his students say his class is like a family. Plus, they tell me they call him Unc.
He calls himself Unc to us, like he's our uncle.
He's like the grown-up in the room, but we're really like his little nephews in the classroom.
Like he says, we're all like an avid family, so.
And he's the Unc.
Yeah. Since my freshman year, every time I have a problem in a class or something, like he's the one that, calms him down and stuff.
When you heard that he won the award that you nominated him for, what'd you think?
He definitely deserves it. Yeah.
It's bringing tears to your eyes thinking about the impact he's had on your life.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Always when I come to him with troubles in classes and stuff, he's the guy that really calms me down. He's like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, we'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
High school's hard.
Yeah.
How has he changed high school for you?
I think he makes a difference in any of his students' lives. Like, you look forward to going into his class.
This teacher is familiar with the Golden Apple Award, so he knew exactly what was going on when we walked in. You can see our team surprise him tomorrow morning at 7:30 on Wish TV on Daybreak. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.